Earth signs, I hope that you are all doing well. I hope your February and your 2023 are going well. Before I go any further, be sure to take a look at the General USA Collective reading for 2023, as well as your yearly Earth Tarot, Earth Signs Tarot forecast for 2023. I also cover a little bit of 2024 as well. So Virgo signs, I'm going to take care of you folks first, and Capricorn and Taurus, I'll take care of you a little bit later. Okay, so Virgo, let's talk and let's shuffle. So I've shuffled until Spirit tells me to stop. We're going to do a 9-card spread on what you can expect for the month of February. This is also known as a portrait spread. I'm using the 7th Sphere Lenormand. I'm seeing that I flipped a couple of cards up. Interesting. Man, scythe, woman, breakup, an emotional choice. This looks like the possibility of divorce or a breakup that's been it would be a serious breakup. Like y'all would be long-term people. And another one flipped up. And this is going to happen quickly. So, Virgo, Spirit's asked me to flip them, and then we can absolutely look at them if they come up in the spread, okay? So, that's your top row, okay? I'm seeing some lies, Virgo, that are deeply destructive and have been deeply destructive for a really long time, possibly since the beginning of this particular relationship that you're in. I see you making a choice that was kind of done in secret. Like you didn't do a good job of educating everybody in your circle about this particular choice. But this choice had been growing up for a long time, and I can see that you kind of left your family members out of this too, because this lands on the house of the home. This is going to be about emotional confusion because this lands on the house of the clouds, not being able to see stuff clearly. So it's possible that you may have been thinking about making this choice, that it was a long time coming, but there are some things that you don't see clearly, okay? Having a neutral third party will help. Here is Animus. So this particular Lenormand deck doesn't have man or woman because those aspects are, I guess we would say those words are kind of really limiting in ways that anima and animus are not. So right here we have anima, which could be about the feminine aspect of an individual, regardless of what their gender expression is. This is the spiritual gender expression, or not even gender. This is a spiritual aspect of an individual, regardless of what their gender. Okay, yep. Man, woman, same thing as we had earlier. I'm seeing a breakup, y'all. And this may not be something that you talk about immediately with everybody. You might take a while to let it absorb. My nose is really bothering me right this minute, so it feels like this is going to resonate for a decent number of folks, Virgos. So this is a choice that you're really not ready to talk about with a lot of people, right? Again, this is really emotional, and I can see on this diagonal that this is a breakup that's going to be it's going to wreck you in many ways. I don't want to be that kind of talking about destructive stuff, but Virgo, I do see this happening this month in February. Be cautious that your emotions aren't so destructive that you cause harm to yourself, okay? I can't emphasize enough. I feel like all the signs that I've been reading for lately, therapy is great recommendations for all of them, okay? And I'm absolutely going to make that recommendation here. Also reaching out to a lawyer if that is going, Even if you're breaking up with an individual, it's not like an official divorce. Contacting a lawyer might help given your situation, okay? Take it as it resonates. I see you as being kind of a secretive individual. And I don't know why I'm looking at Virgo as this particular, because you could be a male Virgo. But regardless of what your gender identity or expression is, it's like you really struggle to talk to people about what's going on with you. Like, you can't be read like a book, is what I'm saying. Like, it's a journey. Like, it takes people a lifetime for them to really get to know you. And that's fair, right? You know, like, I guess you could say that's like still waters run deep. That's kind of cool, actually. But there is the potential for abuse. There's also the real risk, Virgo, that you kind of habitually choose people who abuse you. And they could be masculine people, they could be feminine people. But this is ultimately about a spiritual aspect that can be quite destructive. This was a destructive relationship. And I also see in the future that there might be the risk for a real emotional manipulation from this person. Like, subconsciously on this bottom row, I can see that you guys have broken up emotionally in some ways. Like right here, it's destructive, but I can see that you guys have kind of like broken things off, even if you're like technically still together. But I do see him emotionally manipulating you, possibly to get back into the relationship. I see him as being a really social individual, so that might be kind of like why he's so destructive, is because people think, oh, he's such a good guy, he would never do that to you. And that may be where you're coming from with the deceit. Since anima, yes, lands on the house of the snake, you may believe things about this particular man that are not true. Like, everybody believes things about this particular animus character that are not true, that are destructive to you. It may be, Virgos, that you've made the choice to listen to lies in the past because they were comforting. And I'm seeing here with the snake landing on the house of the ship that this has been something that you've struggled with all of your life. In fact, that may be one of your life lessons. That could be about a physical journey, but in this case, it's absolutely about a spiritual journey and how to learn to not be so gullible. I'm looking at these corner cards right here. You're on a journey and he's on a journey, but this is more about him learning not to tell lies and you not learning to believe them. This is a journey about you becoming, I hate to say it, a little bit more jaded, a little bit more wise to the ways of the world, if you will. There is some innocence here, and I'm sorry that it's being bludgeoned like this, Virgos. You might have carried a really innocent, lighthearted, childlike understanding into the world, into this relationship, and it ended up really biting you in the ass. Let's take a look at what kind of advice my Agam runes can provide, okay? How can you handle February as best as possible, Virgos? So again, I shuffle until Spirit tells me to stop. Let's see. This is the blackthorn. I'm looking at my cheat sheet, okay? This is the blackthorn. This is adversity, pain, struggle, festering, and the protection after obtaining wisdom that is hard won. So, like I was saying earlier, I feel like this is the end to a certain type of innocence and the beginning of a certain kind of maturity if you can get through this process while being high vibing. That means being a hurt individual without hurting other people. I have really strong feelings around the phrase hurt people hurt people. There are some missing words from that particular sentence. Hurt people have the ability to hurt other people, but they actually have the responsibility to still be good people. I've heard I've heard many victims say, many survivors say, I did horrible things while I was with this particular person, and I don't know what I can do with the guilt. This is where therapy will do a lot of work. But going through this as a high-vibing person is necessary to becoming an emperor, if you will. Someone who's able to teach others how to navigate their emotions, their creativity, their sexuality, their relationships, everything, basically. You also have the 5 strike throughs to you have the apple. This is the apple autumn room. This is about healing, renewal, becoming whole, fertility, the afterworld, and I would suspect with fertility in Virgo, that would make perfect sense, right? So this is all about Avalon, if that works for you. This would be the King Arthur, if you're into those kinds of myths, as well as immortality. So you are meant to go through this particular season of your life, if you will. You are meant to end this particular relationship. You are meant to grow out of this. So vibe high and heal yourself. Choose not to hurt other people in spite of how much pain you are going through, Virgos. All right, Capricorn is next. Virgos, I'll see you later. Capricorn, I hope that you're all having a good year and a good February so far. Let's take a look at what kinds of themes you are facing this month, and in a little bit we'll ask how you can handle them as best as you possibly can. Today I'm working with the 7th sphere Lenormand. Okay. So this is your top row. I see a stable feminine. It could be a woman. It could be someone with more of a feminine aspect, more caring, more nurturing, that kind of thing. I see this person with a burden. This could be you. This could be somebody else. But I see you going through cycles, but they're revolutionary cycles, Capricorn. This is you going into the future. That's kind of awesome, actually. So, like, you might be doing things the same way, but you do things like a little bit different, like you tweak it and make it a little bit better each and every time. That's a way to unlock cool new things for yourself. And actually, this has been something that you've been doing for a minute. I was lifting it up as if there was going to be something underneath it, but what's underneath, what this lands on, is the house of the tree, which is about something that's been growing up for a long time. Capricorn, you're kind of interesting in the sense that you are a fast-moving individual. I kind of don't associate fast-moving stuff with earth signs, and that's understandable, right? But I can see you as someone, you might be a career person, okay? I see you as someone who, like, moves quick when it comes time to things that you want. So we'll take a look at this in just a second, but I absolutely see you as someone who tweaks things and makes things better each and every single time, which is really an awesome thing. That's the influence that's going into the future. Now, I can see how, like, sometimes, like, your career ambition can be a bit of a burden on you. I can see that this is like a long-term burden. Like it's something that you're supposed to work with for your life. It might be a life lesson actually, because the cross lands on the house of the ship, which is about spiritual journeys that we're supposed to go through and grow through. Also, I see here with the anchor, that's interesting. It lands on the house of the clover. Anchor is something that I associate with earth signs because that's about not going anywhere very quickly. So there is actually risk in you kind of being stuck in a particular place. There's some real risk in a burden kind of sticking around you for, past its expiration date, if you will, especially because you are someone who likes to go through things pretty quickly. And I'm saying you, again, this could be you or it could be someone in your midst, but I strongly suspect that since Animus did not pop out, that this is you, okay? This could be a man with some really caring, nurturing, creative aspects to him, okay? So this is also about being kind of a public figure, or you are out in public quite frequently. You might be a government worker in the sense that you literally work with the public, okay? But I see also that you might be coming from a family that is famous because the garden lands on the house of the home, which is about a particular group of people who are in on each other's secrets, like a family, for instance, okay? So you might come from an environment where your family is, if they're not celebrities, they're well known in the community, okay? They might be quite well off. But I'm seeing that there's quite a bit of conflict in the public sphere when it comes to you for whatever reason. It looks like there are some lies that are creating this particular conflict, okay? These lies will obviously need to be confronted in some fashion. In fact, they may be what is creating this cycle of burdens that is weighing you down, Capricorn, okay? And I guess I would associate burdens with Capricorn because that is the planet of Saturn, the drill sergeant, the taskmaster, that kind of thing. And I don't mean the TV show. So, this is what's going on subconsciously with your house. I was just saying earlier with the house. I see your family starting a fight that ends up radically changing how you work with them in the future. It may radically change how you interact with them when they are trying to fight with you. It's like your isolation is a burden, and that is what revolutionizes you this month. Like you finally say, I don't like being alone. This doesn't work out well for me anymore. I'm ready to do something a little bit different. And that might be that, okay, yeah, you're ready to change cycles. Literally. Yeah, that's doing things a little bit different, tweaking it every time. And that might be absolutely accurate. Okay, Capricorns, I know Capricorns who are absolutely that way. But then I also see some Capricorns like, I'm making a change today, and that's it. They're hardcore people that way, man. You gotta admire like high-vibing Capricorns. They're like, whew. They're Olympic athletes, man. Like, dude, spiritually Olympic athletes. So that's what's going on subconsciously. Your present reality, is like, it's going to be like you're isolated from the public. So it's kind of a blessing in that kind of regard. Like, you might be able to hide this. Like, Tower lands on the house of the clouds, which is about like, you may not be able to see clearly. On the other hand, you might be able to see perfectly clearly, and other people aren't, such as your family. I noticed that your family is right over here. So a public family member, they're not sure why you're isolating from them, but they're kind of isolative people themselves. So it's kind of like you picked up some really interesting habits from them, Capricorn. Take that as it resonates. That might not be the case at all. But they're trying to see through the veil that you have dropped between yourself and them. And they can't penetrate it. Like that's a hardcore veil. Like that's like a shield even. Make it a little more straight for you folks. So let's actually shuffle and see what we can do to have the best February possible for you. With this in mind, how can you have the best possible February? Okay. We got 4 strikes to the right. This is Willow. This is about using your intuition, being into that high priestess tarot card kind of feel, being an acolyte, if you will, of the universe, being someone who says you can try to get through this veil, but I'm sure as hell not going to let you through. I've learned not to let you through. It's also about being flexible. It's also interesting. This is about the moon. So you might be working with some moon magic. That might also be real if you're that kind of person, okay? If you're someone who works with moon magic, this might be a good month to do that with both the full moon coming up soon and the new moon. So Willow grows on the edge of water. So this is interesting. So it really thrives around intuition. Now, I don't have the moon card for you, but getting in touch with your intuition this month, getting in touch with your emotions, but really working hard with your intuition this month is going to be very, very key. You also have 4 strike throughs diagonally. I'm looking at my cheat sheet, okay? So this is adversity, pain, struggle, festering, and the protection after obtaining wisdom that is hard won. So it looks like you need to acknowledge that your parents have put you through, or parents, your family, it could be your parents, it could be other people, okay? It looks like your family of origin has put you through some serious trials, and now you're being asked this month to kind of debrief yourself on what all has gone down and think about the plan moving forward now that you've accumulated all this experience. You've gone through a lot of pain. There might be some pain this month, Capricorns, if you don't let go of patterns that no longer serve you, and that's what's going on right here. This is going to be, you know what, I was saying like earlier, tweaking things a little bit at a time, not so much. Just now I got Uranus energy. So that's like white one day, black the next, right? Or black the next one day and white the next, or yeah, like crazy like energy going like one direction or the next. Like really revolutionary stuff. So Capricorns, that's enough for you folks. I will see you later. I'll take care of Taurus next. Taurus, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a good year and a good February so far. I want to take a look at your energies for February. What will you be confronting this month? And then in a little bit, we'll ask how you can confront this as best as you possibly can in that high vibing sense. This is the seventh sphere Lenormand. If I didn't already say that, I shuffle until Spirit tells me to stop. Okay. So this is your top row. I see you quickly making a choice to hop into some kind of contract. It could be about messages being delivered really, really quickly, because Rider is about a messenger, quite literally. He delivers the news. So it may be that you have a choice, like the Rider is bringing a message that you need to make a choice on, and there's some risk, but sounds like there's mostly rewards. Less risks, more rewards. Interesting. Now I see you. Education. We'll get into that in just a second. A fast-moving education for this more innocent person. It may be that you are inexperienced in a particular way. Be careful about some deceptions, maybe misconceptions that you believe about this particular message, okay? You might believe some, you just might not see the situation very clearly. It looks like this is a karmic kind of message. It could be coming in from a physical long distance away, but it also could be about a message that was meant to come to you along your spiritual journey. Like it triggers something specific, that a new leg of your journey, if you will. And you might have some, you might not see that immediately, just because you might be thinking of it as something else. I don't feel like Snake would normally be like a really destructive card, depending on the other cards around it and where it lands, on what house it lands. But in this case, I think it's like you're just new and inexperienced with this kind of thing, so you don't see as clearly as you could, okay? Just because you're not that experienced. It's all good, okay? I definitely see you getting a quick education, and that makes sense. Child, it's interesting I'm saying you, but yes. So I'm seeing that you have some aspect landing on the social part of your life. So you might be inexperienced when it comes to this part of society. You might be coming into a new group of people entirely who are strangers to you. And you might just be having a flat out, a childlike good time with them, but it may be that these are just new people to you. I see you making a choice when it comes to educating yourself about a dramatic situation that you might be coming into. So there's some drama underneath this friend situation that you'll need to be aware of, Taurus, okay? Taking a step back and educating for yourself for a bit, thinking before you say stuff, and earth signs might be a little bit better about that, okay? They're more slow-moving folks, so maybe words come a little bit more slowly, and that's not bad, okay? But this education's going to take a while, right? I feel like you're going to have, a bit of growing up to do with this particular situation. The universe really wants you to grow up fast, or at least wants this aspect of you to grow up quickly. The Rider is landing on the house of the Rider. This is moving quickly. This news is getting to you fast. It may be that you had some cycles in the past that you felt like you could not get away from, when is this particular era going to end? When are things going to change for me? I've been doing all kinds of new things. I've been trying to go to new different places, but my cycle keeps drawing me in. There may be some misconceptions that you believe about this particular cycle that the education and the message are going to reveal to you. It may be, Taurus, that you tend towards drama. Please take this as it resonates, okay? And if you're a high-vibing sign, you might understand perfectly well, okay? But it may be that you kind of tend towards the dramatic aspects, and that might be something that you see in this particular friend group. So if you notice that the new friend group is being a little bit dramatic, see about what about that you can apply as a lesson to yourself. How can you use that as a way to mature yourself, quite literally? So that's the past, your present. Yeah, you're going to have to choose to educate yourself about, maybe it is about this is also about messiness, about maybe being kind of like all over the place. You might even be a bit commitment phobic right here. And I would absolutely see that going on with like maybe a bit of immaturity, flightiness, and the engagement ring. That's maybe I'm kind of scared of committing. And that's like, if you can work through that and say that, work through that, that's awesome. That's absolutely how you would mature yourself, Taurus. So yeah, I do see you in the future having some misconceptions to bust about this message, but I'm hoping that you can do a really good job with this. Therapy might help. Absolutely contacting the universe, your spirit guides, your ancestors, that kind of thing. In the universe, if I didn't say that, okay. But if you work with any deities, like naturally, you're going to want to work with them on this, okay? How can you handle this as best as possible? Now, Spirit's bringing my attention back to this particular, and I'm going to have to hurry because my computer needs to be charged. So I see you as someone who kind of is a little bit on the flighty side, like I was saying earlier, might be a bit of commitment phobic, but this message is going to be about asking you to settle down, to commit to them, okay? So that's like what you have coming up in February. How can you handle this as best as possible? Oops, excuse me. Okay, 4 strike throughs, I should say. This is the black thorn. So this is about getting wisdom after having gone through a really hard time. Okay, that means that you're going to be high vibing in the sense that you choose to not hurt other people in the midst of your hurt. You choose to take responsibility for your actions, and you choose to be good and kind to people in spite of the fact that you're hurting. Okay, so this might be your past. This is about you choosing to be a high-vibing person in spite of what you've gone through, okay? Also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikes to the left. I'm looking at my cheat sheet over here. That's about the apple. Healing, renewal, becoming whole, fertility, the other world, Avalon, and immortality. So absolutely, this is about growth, healing after a really, really destructive, adverse period, okay? So take some time out for yourself, and every opportunity you get to heal yourself from your past, take it and take it to the max, okay, Taurus? Earth signs, I hope that you all have a great February. I will see you later.